Should I call you Shanta or should I call you BombayMami? I have to talk about your video. Man, you killed it.
The snowboard.
The snowboard video. You killed it.
I did a song actually with Raftaar back in the day. Rajakumari definitely like paved the way for many of us. I think she's like the GOAT. Actually, I sent Hanuman Khan my project. He listened to my project.
By the way, what is the next one you're working on?
Well, I can give you a hint that there is some inspiration from... So my mother is Swiss and my dad is from India.
It's like some travel and tourism app being promoted somehow.
Somehow.
When was the last time you were in Delhi?
Delhi.
I like this girl, Delhi. Welcome to the Indian Folk Project. For everybody who's tuned in, I have to say that this girl has really killed it in a new video. Not that she's not been making music. She's been making music for quite some time now. I have the pleasure of speaking to BombayMami today. Hi, how are you doing?
I am very well. Thank you so much.
So where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Switzerland, in Bern.
Almost all the films have to have that one song. Was that the starting point of your story?
Yeah, kind of. I guess growing up being Swiss Indian, for me it was the most normal thing to be Swiss Indian, obviously, but also to see Switzerland in India.
Oh, wonderful.
All the time. So it was just like so normal to me. And then when I grew up, actually, I was like, this is actually an interesting connection. It's so random. And then obviously when I found out about, Raj Kapoor coming in the 70s and being like having such an influence, such a big influence on the whole, obviously, Bollywood industry and then also on the tourism in Switzerland. Because we have, places that are actually the street names are in Hindi.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is it? I've never been there, so I don't know. Oh, wonderful. So, yeah, the impact is obviously very big. And then Mr. Yash Chopra came along and he said, okay, I'm going to own this place.
Yeah, literally.
So, we know that BombayMami is your stage name, and there's a very big story behind your where you're from, but not a lot of people know out there. So let's start from the start. You have been born you were born in Switzerland?
Yeah.
But your Indian connection, what is your Indian connection? Our research says, and correct me, you have a connection with Delhi, you have a connection with Banaras. What's the story?
Yeah. So my mother is Swiss and my dad is from India, and my dad is mixed between, so his mom was Bengali from Kolkata and his father actually was a Russian.
Oh.
But they moved to Salem, Tamil Nadu. So, yeah, it's a mix.
It's like some travel and tourism app being promoted somehow.
Somehow. So obviously my parents were in the travel business.
Yeah.
When they met. So they met on a plane in Rajasthan. And they were both tour guides when they met. And they were both guiding a tour in Rajasthan. And that's how they met. And then that's how the love story between Switzerland and India, between them two happened.
That's straight out of a Yash Raj movie, I must say.
Yeah, it really is. One day maybe I'll make a movie.
Now going back to your story. Yeah. Coming back to yours.
So back to my story. So, I grew up between India. So my dad grew up in Varanasi.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad grew up in Varanasi. So obviously as a child, I was there a lot, but we lived in Delhi, PK2 to be precise. And I went to playground there, and then it was always a bit of a back and forth between Bern and Delhi and Varanasi. And then when, the decision had to be made, where am I going to school? They decided for Switzerland because, my mom was like, I don't want to send her to a boarding school.
Your father had a great influence on you as far as the music is concerned. He kind of inspired you to pick up music.
My father was just always very into music, so we went to so many Indian classical music concerts, and so I think that obviously had a big impact. But also growing up in Switzerland, R&B, hip hop was obviously pop music was really prominent. Like I guess most of the West was like influenced by American pop culture. So when I saw the first time MIA and Missy Elliott, that they all had these Indian samples, that was like a big moment for me, and kind of see these things on TV, MTV. And obviously my dad always was, really, he always wanted me to do something in art. So he wanted me to play the piano, but I was not really interested in the piano. I wanted to sing. So I started singing pretty early, like really young. I think I was 10 when I started going to take some lessons, and I was 14 when I first had my first studio session.
Oh,
randomly. I was really young, and I started then recording hooks for other people in the industry. And I was so young, I was like 15, 16, and I started just going to studios because it was really still not a thing that people were doing, on a regular basis, like especially not teenagers. Like now everybody has a home studio. Like it's so normal in the West as well. Like obviously in India, I'm sure as well, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. Now it has become, because a lot of independent artists are growing, and it's not a thing that only certain people will have studios. Some big studios will invite you. Of course, they are used, but a lot of artists have started building their own studios in their homes.
Yeah, like now you just need a mic and a laptop and an interface.
Yes, and that's what we do. And thanks to technology, at the end of a certain phase in your life, you started working on this song. Or was it always already work in progress?
We did it nearly in one day. We finished the song. It was just like, I got back from Paris and I just had Jolly Kipiche in my head all the time. And then I showed it to my producer, who is absolutely not familiar with our music.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting to see how someone else picks it up. And that's how we came up with Fire in Delhi. Like that's how he obviously his interpretation, my interpretation of it, and
I was about to ask you, because Ila Arun has been such a bombshell, such an influence on the music, and that part of her, the way you use it in your own song Fire in Delhi, it's amazing. Like similarly, it has been like a lot of people got inspired in Slumdog Millionaire song as well, the Ringa Ringa song. It's been used. It's like that spice that you add a little bit, and it gives a very different flavor to your entire song. But I have to talk about your video. Man, you killed it.
The
snowboard video. You killed it. The udhar ki kapde from your cousin's wedding. And then your mother's push to take up sports, snow sports. Talk to me about that video, because I'll tell you why. Where is this question coming from? Because a lot of artists have started creating this amazing music backed up with amazing concept and aesthetics. We have seen Hanuman Kind do that with Big Dog.
Big Dog.
And the recent video that he launched recently, 2 days back. And your video is also kind of, it's chart buster video.
I wanted to make it as visual as possible. Like my background, like where I'm from and who I am as a person, it's as visual as possible. So the snowboarding is so natural to me. I literally grew up on the snowboard. So to me, that's like riding a bicycle. And then the lehenga obviously was, I wanted to do it in a sari, but then the practicality of a sari was just not there. So I said, lehenga is actually perfect.
Although it looks very, very classy, very aesthetically beautiful, I'm sure it must have taken a lot to be in that, because as a man, if I look at a woman wearing a lehenga in itself is like so beautiful, but it's so heavy and everything. And forget that, and then wearing it and going snowboarding and shooting and giving all the expressions and doing all the lip sync and everything. That must have been a task. Did you practice for it?
I mean, I went snowboarding twice before just to warm up again, also for fun. But also, I just thought it's good if I go a little bit because I haven't been last year. So, and then because thank God it was a beautiful day. So obviously, because the snow reflects the sun.
Yeah.
You actually get quite warm. So it was not too cold. So that was a plus. And it was a beautiful day, and it was like, obviously it was exhausting because I had to climb up all the time and then go down again, and because we wanted to get as many shots as possible to just get that perfect shot. But it was it was really fun, to be fair. And like, because snowboarding is, it's just like I said, it's like something natural to me. So it wasn't like a big challenge, to be honest. I mean, I just hoped I wouldn't fall, and I was hoping that the snow is not too icy, because when it's too icy, it can be quite difficult to ride. But it was perfect conditions, so it was not like very dramatic, to be honest.
At the international level, the scene is getting bigger and bigger. Like we saw an AP Dillon, we saw Diljit, Hanuman Kain. We've seen Rajakumari come from the US and making a mark here. How do you see the independent music scene coming from, of people of Indian origin coming from outside of India and taking that and carrying that flag ahead?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody has their own way of identifying with their culture, and being mixed race, that was always something, like you grow into it the more you grow up. And my dad was obviously always very, like, he's very knowledgeable, like history. He's like a history book. So he's always taught me a lot about history. I've always been connected to India. Obviously, I lived there. So it's like, to me, it's so natural to do it. And now that I've also started with Indian classical training a couple of years ago, that obviously opened up a whole different level of understanding for the culture and for the music. And so overall, I feel it's a really interesting time, because to me, there was MIA, which was South Asian, who is South Asian, not was, is South Asian, but who was really, really, really successful, like when I grew up. And she was like the only one. And everybody else was using the samples, but was not actually Indian or South Asian. So there was really little for me to compare myself to. And then obviously Bollywood was completely something different than what I wanted to do as an artist. So now I feel it's interesting, like Rajakumari definitely like paved the way for many of us. I think she's like the GOAT, I would say.
You used a very interesting word, compare. Although all of us know in our hearts that comparisons shouldn't be there, because even the siblings are not similar, right? They are very different. Having said that, they are bound to happen. And one artist might be compared to, mostly artists are compared to each other. Like they're compared to their predecessors, they're compared to their peers. In this scenario, say for example, we took a name, Rajakumari. purely hypothetical scenario, but if people end up comparing the both of you or comparing you with any other artist, what is your take on that?
I think it's just the natural thing to do. People compare Britney and Christina Aguilera all the time. And I think that's just what, if there's only a few people you can kind of or see, then that's kind of what you will do naturally. So I don't take it as a negative, because I'm like, oh, actually you see us and you see that we're here. And obviously if you understand music and if you really listen, you will see that there's a lot of differences.
Okay, the top three songs, which anytime it's like a muscle memory to you.
Okay, so there's gonna be, well, it's obviously also always, but Dil to Pagal Hai, one of them.
Okay.
It's like an all-time favorite for me, Dil to Pagal Hai. Then I have Say My Name by Beyonce, Destiny's Child. And I would say Bad Girls by MIA.
Impressive. Wow. Cool choices. Tell me something. Any plans now that we see that you're bursting on the scene and this video has made you a household name? I'm sure that there are a lot of people who will be coming to you to talk to you. Like right now, somebody is talking to you. But anyway, we'll move on to the question. Right. Sorry, so, do you have plans of being more frequent to India, or shifting to India, your base, or working in movies?
Everything I would love, honestly. I would love to be more present in India. I would love to come to India and live in India. At least, maybe I could do couple months here, couple months there. I would love that.
When was the last time you were in Delhi?
Delhi, I
like this girl, Delhi. Not Delhi, Delhi. I like this girl. बताइए दिल्ली में आखिरी बार कब आई थी आप? 2022 or 3. 2. Yeah. You have been learning traditional Indian music. What kind of is it Hindustani classical? What is it? What are you training? Hindustani classical. And you're training in Switzerland? Well, I trained first. I started over Zoom with my guru from India, originally from Kolkata. And then when I moved back to London, I found the Bhavan and I went there, and then I found the school. I found a class there. So then I started to go there all the time. And then I started to play tabla as well. I have always asked this question. This is my template question to all the artists. How much do your personal experiences impact you, influence you, trigger you as an artist? For me, it's important. I think the rawest music and the truest music that I can make is only if I really feel something. But that obviously is a feeling, can obviously be something maybe you also wish for, or having a delusion, also. And I guess with being an artist, you need to be a little bit delulu. That's part of it. Yeah. So, yeah, but I think, the emotional connection and the experiences is definitely something that I think for me is very important. And how are you feeling after this painful memory gave you a super hit song? How are you feeling now? I mean, honestly, it's a great feeling, because now kind of obviously there's moments where I listen to my music and there's flashbacks, but right now everything's kind of not it's not at all present. So it's kind of, it's a beautiful outcome, and I really didn't expect this type of response, which is really beautiful. Are you getting noticed by people walking on the streets? Yes, my moment has come, kind of.
So in Switzerland, I've had that for a while because I was on a TV show.
Oh.
In Switzerland, but under the name Tashan, so not BombayMami.
Okay.
But obviously BombayMami was always my Instagram handle. Mm-hmm. And then now I decided to change the name because I just felt like Tashan did so many different things to arrive where I am now. And now I feel like I learned so much and understand exactly what I want to do and how I want to do it. So I wanted to give it like a new platform to a certain degree. And in Switzerland, I've had that feeling of people recognizing. And in London, funny enough as well. But now, I don't know, obviously now I have to just walk around in my orange lenga.
That will be kind of what you said. Delhi is a chaos.
Yeah, exactly.
Really kind of that. But interesting. You changed your name from Tashan to BombayMami. People would like to know who the original name. What did your parents name you exactly?
So my name is Shanta. Mm-hmm. Azalea.
Okay.
Venkatesh.
Shanta Venkatesh.
Shanta Venkatesh. And Azalea is my middle name.
Should I call you Shanta or should I call you BombayMami? What do you prefer?
I think BombayMami makes sense.
BombayMami. Yes.
But the thing, people now just call me Bombay.
Bombay. Wow, yeah. 40049. That's my PIN code. I'm sure people are going to give you also a PIN code at some point of time. Tell me something. Bindi and Lehenga are, say, strong symbols in Indian culture. How important it is for you to represent your heritage in your music? Because you, on one side, your mother is from outside India. On one side, you are half Indian. I guess it's just the way I identify myself, obviously, it's part of me and I'm obsessed with Indian fashion. I love everything about it. I think it's the most beautiful in the world. Who doesn't want to look like a Maharani every day? I want to look like that every day. So, I think it's really important to me because it's just part of me and I love it and I'm proud of it and I love to showcase it and I would love for other people to see it and to appreciate it. And I think it's so, we have such a rich culture. It's incredible. It's just I'm learning so much about our culture just constantly because there's so much. It's crazy. Why does it sound like you're going to take the next flight home? Yeah, whenever I'm in India, I'm like, it's just like, wow, I just love it. And I would just obviously, I spend more time here, but I want to spend more time there because I have so much to learn also about the music. And I think, especially Indian classical music, once I'm there, I can really immerse into it. You are, again, at the cost of repeating, you're an artist of Indian origin. That's how you're dressed right now. When you come to India, because every industry has a certain set of people whom you need to know to form connections, to start working professionally. Have you started working on that front as well? Just now it has started. Yeah. Now it has started to connect. I have been a little bit, but not I've been in the studio with Raja before. We met at the studio. Then I did a song actually with Raftaar back in the day. Oh. It never got out. Oh. I never released it. But yeah, so I've been kind of connected to the scene. Mm. And now that Private Delhi is having a bit of a moment, it's now people actually are seeing me and getting to know who I am. So that's nice. So it makes it easier to connect with people. Shah Rukh Khan? Not yet. But Lily Singh. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. But what's the, because you interestingly mentioned Dil To Pagal Hai. So when I say Shah Rukh Khan, what comes to your mind?
Dil To Pagal Hai, Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum. There's so many movies. Like, he's just like, yeah, he's like, I think he's like the most known Bollywood superstar, definitely, in the whole world. Everybody knows him. I was going through your Instagram and it was all about the work that you're doing. But now the scenario, I don't know which way is it going, but for most of the music artists, some of them are confused because they don't want to do this, rather they want to spend their time working on their music. Some of them use their social media as a marketing tool to showcase their work only. A lot of musicians have also mentioned in the past that they have to show their personal side as well for the people to connect with them. Yeah. I haven't seen any such thing on your social media. Yeah, it's something I really have to do more. And it's funny because for me, actually, I really like to talk to people, and I'm very communicative, and I don't have but then filming myself and doing it sometimes becomes like, now it's not as natural. But then I have moments where I feel like, oh yeah, I just want to do it. So do you consider yourself more of a studio artist than a stage artist, or a stage artist and a studio artist? What is your preference? Well, obviously the studio I've spent more time than on stage, but I want to be a stage artist. So I'm a studio that wants to be mainly a stage artist. But obviously it also has to align with everything, because I don't want to just do everything. I want to do things that make sense and where I can perform with the people that I want to perform with. So it's not just anything and everything. Yeah, but I definitely am a studio artist that, loves to be on stage. You have quite a presence, at least the video says it. You have quite a presence on in front of the camera. Any chances that a singer might also land up an acting gig? Yeah, I mean, I would love that. I would love to be. I was thinking about that. I was talking to Papa the other day, and I was like, yeah, I would really be so down to go into that world. Absolutely. I need some training, I guess, for sure. But I'd love to do it. Everybody looks at somebody else and says, okay, if this person has walked this road, so can I. Who's that person for you? I think Hanuman can right now a little bit. Like, obviously he grew up in the States and then came back, and so he has that also, this kind of different perspective on things, and sees India maybe differently than maybe people who live in India or have always lived in India. Maybe we see different things and find different things interesting, or want to highlight different things that maybe in India people would say, like, what is this? Why would this is so basic? Nobody cares about that. But for us, it's like, this is so cool. In fact, last night only, I saw him performing in Lola Mumbai. And that man is fire. The moment he steps onto the stage, he literally eats you up. He's that energy. Wow. So great that you mentioned it. Yeah. What I hear, he's also going to perform in Coachella. I don't know whether it's confirmed or not. But how about these artists, like you being one of them now, of Indian origin, and taking us places? Because see, I'll give you an example of Hollywood. Hollywood used to have actors of Indian origin in small parts, here and there, a friend of a friend, etc., etc. Now the things, they're pushing the envelope, and so are you people, like musicians. How do you see India on a global stage now? Yeah, I think it's like becoming more and more mainstream, where people understand it. People always have to see it maybe from a bit, how can I say it? from a different perspective where they can understand it. And I think now there's a great time to showcase all that, and I think it's a great time. I feel like I've been feeling like this there's more popping up from every corner, artists and people, and in on Netflix, and actors, and not only in Bollywood but also in Western movies, which is nice to see because that's also really rare, really rare. So yeah, it's an interesting time, and I'm really happy to be part of it, and that so many women message me. I appreciate that a lot because that's so beautiful. Like to connect with so many women, that's really touching.
You mentioned that you had a song with Raftaar. It didn't come out. Any other plans in the pipeline, or should I say, ambitions of like or plans of I want to collaborate with this person, XYZ person of like Indian musicians?
Well, yes, I actually I sent Hanuman Khan my project. He listened to my project and he said he enjoyed it a lot. So we spoke, but that was before he blew up. So before he blew up, we spoke. So, like obviously I would love to work with him. I think it would be great. But I think in terms of like Indian artists, actually, do you know about Young Sammy?
Yes, he has been on a podcast.
So yeah, Young Sammy and I are definitely gonna work. I would love to work with Indian classical artists as well more.
Mm-hmm.
AR, I would love to, that would be a dream to be able to, just be in his presence also would be incredible. I'm just ready to come back and to explore and just to take it in. And I can't wait for that to happen soon.
By the way, what is the next one you're working on? Blows up.
Well, basically, I have a album coming, so now I'm just rolling out the next one is coming in April, mid-April. So yeah, it's ready. It's with a feature from a friend of mine. It's a Nigerian artist called Manuel, and he's based in the States. And we've been friends for a long time, and we made that song. And well, I can give you a hint that there is some inspiration from Dil To Pagal here and there.
Oh. Have you thought of the video? Somebody called Shah Rukh Khan can feature in the video.
Yeah, please. Please. Come to Switzerland, I come to India, whatever. It doesn't matter. We're gonna do that. Yeah. The video idea is there. I will share it with you when it's done.
This is Peaceful Attitude you're talking about?
Anji.
Oh, Anji, Delhi. Huh. Too much sass, huh? Well, wonderful. It was wonderful talking to you, Bombay. And we're waiting for Peaceful Attitude and Shah Rukh Khan in your video. And
yes,
a collaboration with Hanuman Kind and your song with Raftaar coming out. We hope all this happens very soon.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for being there. Have a great day. Bye-bye.